From today, this is my house. Do as you please. Tom, gazing at me triumphantly, let a sly smile creep across his face. He spread his arms wide, scanning the spacious room joyfully, as if he were dancing. The house we are in now is my family home. My father was a wealthy man and had a passion for his home like no other. This house, the crystallization of his zeal, is worth a whopping $200 million. My father lovingly built this house and left it to me just before he passed away recently. And now, my husband insists that this house, which I inherited, is his. Does my husband think he can make my inherited estate his own? Although I explained that the inherited estate is my property and he has no rights to it, he only smirked with satisfaction. I'm not lying. I have proof if you need it. The evidence that my husband showed me was, my name is Emily and I am 38 years old this year. I work online at an internet bank daily. Learning the importance and risks of money from my parents was one of the reasons I chose this job. My parents were professionals in asset management, and I grew up in what is typically considered a wealthy family. From an early age, my parents strictly taught me the importance and usage of money. Money is a crucial asset that enriches our lives. Protecting that asset is a responsibility of each and every one of us. These words, which I had heard so much from my father that they could become tiresome, resurfaced in my mind. Even though there were assets in our family, my parents didn't unconditionally give me everything I wanted and seemed to strive to have us live like an average family. My allowance was slightly less than my peers, and dining at high-end restaurants was a rare occasion. During my childhood, I attended a local public elementary school and didn't go to a costly private one. Since we lived locally, rumors about my large house and my family's wealth spread quickly due to our affluent home and my parents' extensive social circle. Emily, your house is big, isn't it? Are you rich? That must be nice getting anything you want, right? Of course, you have the latest games too, right? Can we all come over to play sometime? The truth was, I didn't get everything I wished for, and I didn't even have expensive toys, let alone the latest game console. But such rumors were common. Honestly, I didn't enjoy these rumors. That's because I thought I was living a normal life just like everyone else. Emily, your family is rich, right? So can you lend me some money? Actually, I accidentally broke Karen's game console and I have to compensate her. I don't have any money right now. Catherine and I had just become classmates in the 5th grade. Didn't you tell your parents? I can't. I'm afraid they'll scold me. That's why I'm asking you, Emily. I was worried that if I refused, it might make school life awkward from tomorrow on. However, I was prohibited from lending money by my parents. I'm sorry, Catherine. I don't have any money right now. When I refused, Catherine left with tears in her eyes. You turned down Catherine's request, didn't you? You're rich, aren't you? Then lend some money to your friend Catherine. She seems to be out of money now. I wondered why I was being involved in this even though I had nothing to do with it. However, I continued to say that I couldn't lend money because I didn't have any. For a while, Karen, who had been listening to my story, said, I get it. Money is more important to you than your friend Kathleen, huh? It's just a worse to abandon a friend. There's no way you don't have money being from a rich family. Why do you lie? You're just the worst. Leaving those words behind, she walked away. That day's event sparked malicious rumors about me to start spreading. Karen and Catherine started spreading baseless lies to others, such as that I had conned money from the two of them and hadn't compensated for the broken game console, and so forth. The teachers who caught wind of the rumors quickly grasped that truth and severely warned the two girls. However, that ended up exacerbating the situation. The malicious rumors from the two escalated day by day, spreading throughout the school, and eventually reached my parents' ears, prompting my father to visit the elementary school. Eventually, a meeting between parents took place, and the situation started moving towards resolution. Since hearing their insincere apologies, I have kept my distance from the two of them. They, on their part, occasionally glance and snicker at me but don't talk to me directly. At dinner that day, with a wry smile, my father advised me as follows. Listen, Emily, say no firmly, because lending money is forbidden by your parents. You don't have to say whether you have money or not. If the other party insists, just say you will ask your parents even though it's forbidden. I've had enough of troublesome matters related to money. I nodded deeply to my father's words. Keeping my father's words in my heart, thereafter, I refrained from bringing up money myself. After graduating from elementary school, I reduced opportunities to invite friends to my house as much as possible and tried to focus on internal qualities in my relationships. After graduating from university, even as a working adult, I paid careful attention to avoid the risk of monetary trouble, focusing on my work and investing all my energy without letting others intrude into my personal life. When I was 28, I met Tom, who is now my husband, through the introduction of one of my few friends. Tom, 1 year younger than me at 27, had an honest personality, speaking about anything from our first meeting, though he looked about 5 years younger than his age. I was drawn to Tom's straightforward and cheerful personality, and after 2 years of dating, we got married. The wedding was celebrated lively with many people, inviting family and friends. My parents, who had been worried about me, who had no romantic experience even after 25, were eagerly awaiting my marriage. When the marriage was decided, they were genuinely happy, providing funds and suggesting that we have a grand celebration. Tom agreed, saying, "It's a once-in-a-lifetime stage. Let's enjoy it to the fullest. Your parents should be happy too." So we decided to have a glamorous wedding, inviting many family members and friends. About a month after the wedding, my father said, "Isn't it a good time to invite Tom to our house?" Though I had trust in Tom, considering the trauma from my elementary school days, I was worried that his talkative nature might lead him to share details about my family with others, potentially causing issues. Having been married for a month, I resolved to disclose everything I had hidden thus far about my family and invited Tom to my parents' house. When Tom arrived at my family's house, he stopped in his tracks, oddly astonished, and remained open-mouthed, immobilized by the eye-opening encounter. Emily's family is so wealthy. After the meal and on the way home, Tom was engrossed in asking about my wealth and assets, continually bringing up the topic of money. I told him I didn't know much about the financial situation at home, but I felt uneasy inside. A few months later, I received a call from my mother. "Your father is going to be hospitalized soon." "Hospitalized? Is that okay?" I was lost for words. completely taken aback. Actually, your father hasn't been feeling well lately. He's getting hospitalized for a thorough examination. Did you notice he didn't eat much when you brought Tom over? Reflecting back, I remembered that my father did not eat much that day and seemed somewhat emaciated. So, I have a favor to ask Emily. The detailed examination results will be out this weekend. Can you be there with us? Of course, Mom. I'll be there, so don't worry. I was profoundly concerned about my father. On Saturday, I went to the hospital with my mother. My father seemed cheerful, but somehow he lacked vitality. When I spoke to him, my father greeted me with a gentle smile and said, "Emily, I'm sorry for making you worry. I guess I'm getting old." After some time, I was informed about my father's medical condition by the doctor. It was found that he had cancer in the pancreas, and it was at stage 4. Furthermore, the cancer had already spread throughout his body, making surgery difficult. I was at a loss for words, and my mother was in tears. Why, he always took care of his health. My father silently listened to the doctor's explanation. The pancreas is hidden behind other organs, making it difficult to detect early. Often, by the time it's detected, surgery is difficult and the cancer is hard to cure. Upon returning to the room, my father spoke with a determined expression. "I'm sorry. I want the two of you to live happily from now on." We couldn't stop our tears upon hearing his words of resolve. From that point on, I made it a point to spend as much time as possible with him. Due to the prevailing cold, visits were restricted to family, and he missed spending time with his friends. It seemed he longed for various people to visit our family home. "Emily, even after I'm gone, please cherish that home. I'll be happy if you invite friends and family, creating memories together." My father entrusted me with these wishes. I pondered how to fulfill his desires. Wanting to cherish his wish, I came up with an idea and quickly searched for a renovation contractor to make it a reality. Tom was concerned about me as I would always visit my father on my days off. In reality, due to an issue with our family home, I didn't trust Tom with information about inheritance. "By the way, Emily, how's your father's health?" "To be honest, it's not great." "That must be hard on you alone. Do you want me to help in any way?" His comforting words warmed my heart. My busy days juggling work and hospital visit and exhausted me mentally and physically. But his next words chilled my heart. "Considering the future as your husband, I'd like to know in detail about my father-in-law's financial situation. The property is managed by my father, and if anything happens to him, my mother will take over. So there's nothing I need to discuss with you. But money is important." I consulted with a judicial scrivener I met recently, and he gave me various advice. I think it's better to start discussions early, considering the situation if something happens to your mother too. Hearing Tom talk about my father's assets and hinting at my mother's passing infuriated me and brought back unpleasant memories. My father has a lawyer, a long-time friend. There's no need for your concern. But we need to be careful about money. It's important, right? That's why I trust the people who've been with us for a long time. You don't need to worry. Because of this dispute and Tom's insistence on my father's assets, I began to distance myself emotionally from him. A few months passed, and despite his valiant fight, my father passed away. As a result of discussions among family members, In accordance with my father's will, I inherited a mansion worth $4.5 million. However, Tom showed increasing interest in the inheritance. Despite my protests, he kept inquiring about the inheritance and its associated taxes. One day, Tom said excitedly, "Emily, you inherited the mansion, right? That's amazing. When are we moving?" "Wait, how do you know?" Honestly, I was surprised. I heard the story when I met Emily's cousin at the funeral and happened to greet her the other day. Please do not speak lightly of important matters. I was hurt by the cousin's careless words. Indeed, we inherited it, but we have no plans to move since it's too big for just the two of us. Why? Why inherit it if you are not going to live there? It's a waste to leave it empty. Let's live in that mansion and have a happy life. The whole family decided not to live there. Why did you decide that without consulting me, your husband? I don't understand. Despite explaining to Tom several times that the inheritance was not commercial property, he did not understand. However, fulfilling my father's last wishes was my goal, and that was more important. Whether he felt I was not responding to his emotions, Tom began to show hostility towards me after that. Although he attended my father's funeral, he did not cooperate with any of the subsequent procedures. Even after the funeral, the bereaved family had a mountain of tasks to do, and every day was spent rushing to the next. I was also busy with the inheritance procedures, memorial services, and greeting my father's friends. After 1 month, then 2 months passed since the funeral. When I finally began to regain some calm, Tom said this with a sly grin as I came home. "Emily, there's something important to talk about." Wondering what was going on, I listened, and Tom suddenly began like this. "I changed the ownership of your family home to my name. Here are the legal documents as proof." The documents Tom placed on the table were name change papers. I stood there stunned, unable to comprehend the meaning. Marrying Emily was a mistake. I didn't notice it when we were dating. While your family is wealthy, I didn't realize you were so introverted, had few friends, and such low communication skills and income. I put up with it because you were so diligent with the housework when we first married, but I can't stand being with you anymore. However, I'll hire you as a housemaid. The salary will be low, but at least you can live in the house your father left you. What will it be? If you refuse, it's divorce. If you don't want to be a maid either, you have no choice but to leave. And with that, Tom thrust the divorce papers at me. Suddenly, harsh words were thrown at me, and I emotionally retaliated. "Don't say such unexpected things out of the blue. Change the ownership? You can't just do that on your own." I asked the judicial scrivener, Alex, to change it for me. "Fine, let's get divorced. You will be the one regretting it." Having decided to divorce and signing the divorce papers, I packed my belongings and left the house. I told myself that my husband had changed due to the temptation of money as I headed towards my parents' home. The next day, there was a call from Tom. "That house is mine. Give me the keys to your parents' house." "Don't joke around. It's not your house. It's a precious family home inherited from my father." Saying that, I hung up the phone unilaterally. Although he was a much gentler person when we first met, Tom changed as a person, having succumbed to the temptation of money. I was once again made to recognize the horrors of money. As I was considering what to do next, Suddenly, a loud alarm sounded. It seems that the home security system had been triggered. There's a loud banging on the front door. Emily, are you there? Open up. This is my house. It seems the security system was activated because Tom was trying to forcefully break the door. This house is something our family has cherished for a long time. It's not your house. Huh? Open it. This is my house. I've changed the ownership. Tom shouts while trying to forcibly open the front door. I continue to ignore him. Just when I thought it had become quiet, security guards arrived and apprehended Tom. I opened the front door and requested the security guard. This person is an intruder. Please take him away. I am the owner of this house. I showed you the document of name change yesterday. I had a judicial scrivener change it for me. Unperturbed by the security guards, Tom exuded a triumphant attitude with a smug expression on his face. I told him, understood, wait a moment, and went back into the room to retrieve a document. Coming back from the room, I handed Tom a copy of the real registry transcript, saying, look at this. This house was inherited from my father. Of course, the inheritance registration has also been completed. This is a copy of the registry transcript as proof. Understand? The document of name change you are talking about is fake. Tom stood there, speechless and stunned. Listen carefully, Tom. Even a real judicial scrivener cannot change the ownership without the consent of the owner. Tom's face turned pale visibly. I can't believe it, Alex said. I'm a judicial scrivener, so it will cost money, but I'll handle the procedure for a friend and offer to help. Friend? How did you meet him? When Alex found out that your father was wealthy, he approached me. He sincerely advised me on inheritance tax issued and estate distribution, so I trusted him. Since you inherited but said you would not live there, when I discussed it, he said procedure would be cumbersome, but he could change it to our names, so I asked him to do it. I even paid him $30,000. Tom made a distorted face, trying to hold back tears even as he spoke. Then, slowly, he took out his smartphone from his pocket and began to call Alex. Alex, please pick up. Damn, it went to voicemail. Tom, seemingly unable to give up, keeps calling repeatedly. Damn, no matter how many times I call, it's no use. You are so stupid, buying a meaningless piece of paper for $30,000. You should have researched how to register inheritance and the going rates for expenses. Alex might be a scammer. According to rumors, he's approached others about money and conned them. You weren't a bad person, Tom, but you were seduced by money and changed. Goodbye. As I tried to close the door, Tom tried to stop me. Emily, please listen. I was wrong. I want to start over. Please reconsider the divorce. It's too late for any words now. Security guard, sorry for the wait. Please escort him out. Tom was escorted away by the security guard. Later, I further enhanced the security to live safely at my parents' house. I also changed my and my mother's mobile numbers, cutting off all contact from Tom. Although Tom visited several times, he stopped coming after being driven away by the security guard each time. 3 months later, on a hot summer day, I held my father's first Memorial Day at our family temple. Then, a familiar figure caught my eye. It was a gaunt, completely exhausted figure, but it was unmistakably Tom. However, I was not surprised to see Tom's emaciated form. A friend who introduced me to Tom had told me that he had been leading a reckless life since the divorce. Tom, it seems, couldn't give up and wanted to start over with me. Therefore, he falsely reported to his boss during work and pretended to be out for work, spending hours searching for me. Eventually, his false reporting was discovered by the company, and even though he was subjected to strict warnings, demotions, and salary reductions, Tom showed no signs of remorse and was finally fired. Moreover, good-natured Tom was continuously deceived by various people over these 3 months, seduced by sweet words and skillful talking disguised as kindness, with promises of profitable deals and talks of reconciliation with me. He seemed to have been victimized several times. Friends who were worried about Tom had warned him many times. However, Tom, being swayed by the words of the con artists who spoke pleasant things, could not trust his friends' opinions, and as a result, he suffered from a huge debt and became isolated without support from friends or family. Tom, standing in front of me, had taken a massive hit, both economically and mentally. The attire, tarnished and shabby, seemed inappropriate for a funeral venue and did not convey a sense of mourning for the deceased. Tom, wobbling on his feet, prostrated himself right before me just as I was about to call the security guard. "Emily, I'm sorry. It was all my fault." Tom continues to prostrate himself at my feet, apologizing loudly, inevitably drawing the attention of the family members in attendance. "Tom, please stop. You are ruining my father's important day. Please just go home." "In order to keep my father's first Memorial Day festival serene," whispered to Tom, but disregarding my feelings, he persists with his apologies. "Emily, please forgive me. You are all I have. I deeply regret my actions. I don't know what to do anymore." Crying out, Tom breaks down, sobbing loudly. Relatives, alerted by his distressing cries, rush over. "What happened? He seems to be crying. Is everything okay? Emily, did something happen? Who is this filthy man?" Various voices from the relatives echo around me. Each word heightens something in my chest. A nagging feeling that my father's first Memorial Day festival is being ruined because of me. "Please just stop. Tom, enough is enough. Stop trampling on my feelings during my father's memorial service. From now on, don't involve yourself in my life at all. Security guard, please come over here. This man is stalker. Please take him away." Security rushes over, grabbing Tom firmly by both sides. "Emily, please! Emily, please!" Even while being escorted away by the security guard, Tom continued to call out to me desperately. I apologized to the attending relatives for causing this disturbance. I apologize for the commotion. I'm so sorry for causing trouble, especially when you all came out for my father. Afterwards, I was able to conclude the first Memorial Day festival peacefully and breathed a sign of relief. Feeling terrified by Tom's actions, I visited the police station for consultation on the same day. I was told that I was free to file a complaint, which I did just to be safe. Furthermore, I decided to move out of my parents' house to completely sever ties with Tom. The move was something I had been planning for a while, and it just happened a bit sooner than anticipated. Since I had already considered several potential new places to live, I was able to decide smoothly on where to move. Even after that, a friend kept me updated on Tom's situation. According to them, Tom often visited my family home and, seeing it renovated, shed tears. Tom, who had dreamed of a married life with me and becoming a millionaire, lost his motivation when his dreams did not come true and lived his days in a dull manner. One day, while watching TV, a news segment reported that Alex, the judicial scrivener who once deceived Tom, was arrested for another fraud case. Tom started believing that those who do wrong should face their responsibilities and began seriously engaging in his job hunting, eventually landing a fulfilling job. Later on, recalling my father's words from when he was alive, make the family home a memorable place by inviting various people, I came up with the idea to turn the family home into a rental villa. By having discussion with renovation constructors from an early stage and clarifying the direction we wanted to go, the renovation went smoothly, and now my mother and I are running the post-renovation family home as a rental villa together. What Tom saw when he visited the family home was its transformed state, already operating as a rental villa. The rental villa, blessed with an excellent location and a spacious garden, is loved by many and is running smoothly. Also, having more opportunities to talk with my mother, who is co-running the business, enriches my days. Dad, you'll be so happy. Your dream came true. Every time a guest comes, I express my gratitude to my Father in heaven. I am so happy to be able to operate the rental villa, which was my father's dream.